Hello, hello, and welcome. This is Zish, Visionary Life Hacks. Here to connect, here to inspire, here to be the change. If you're watching the live, welcome. If you're watching the replay, welcome. If you share this, thank you for sharing. And welcome. So, I kind of want to have the sun out as well, so I'll put these on because I'm in front of the screen. So, last night I was asked a great question by one of my customers, family friends, who's been using the machine, the antique Tesla healing devices that I work with. And they're just antiques that I've chosen to work with. Like, I choose to take frankincense, I choose to drink my own upgraded bulletproof coffee. I am the protagonist. I am choosing. So I'm just going to come into the sun. So what I want to share is I was asked a really great question yesterday, and I think it was like every question's a great question. Excuse me. So every question's an awesome question, and so if you've got questions, fire them over. So the question I was asked, oh, there we go, look at that. We've had snow today as well. It's a lovely day. Lovely, beautiful day. Okay, so let's just get into it. I think I can do it here. Can I do it here? Let's see. Can I do it there? Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, there we go. All right, so welcome. This is Zish, Visionary Life Hacks, here to connect, here to inspire, here to be the change. If you're watching the live, welcome. If you're watching the replay, hi. And if you share this, thank you for sharing. This is going up onto YouTube. Feel free, please like it. If you like it, it pushes it into the algorithm. And, if I'm providing value, helps to cut through all the noise. There's so much, esoteric jargon and junk on the YouTube. I'm doing my very little best, low tech versus the old big tech, on this stolen technology, doing the best to provide valuable content. And so this lovely lady, last night, she's been using the machine, getting some really good positive responses, and she asked me the question, Zish, do you use this technology with you and your loved ones? And the answer is yes, empathetically, 1000% yes, I'm using the machines. The mother of my children has a machine by her bed. She uses it on my youngest son. We use it on the children. Sometimes some of our dogs come over and use the technology. We've even had cats inspired by the technology. I think cats are quite sort of privy to the technology. I've got really good friends that are using the technology as well. For example, my friend yesterday, the last few days, he's been with family members over in Tampa, USA, the state of Florida. He's been using the device on a family friend that's had inflammation around the ear. He was like, let me use the machine on you. He's got his little handheld, can use it as carry-on, travel around the world. He travels around the world with it. And he was able to use it on a family member's ear, 3 sessions, the ear's back to what it had never been, probably better than what it was before. So that was really, really good. Now I'm going to share a story. I had I used to go back in the 90s. I used to go to this family. It was like a watercress farm, and they were doing sort of organic trout. And I used to go there and give them my money because I've always supported the organic certification. It's kind of a bit ridiculous that we even need an organic. I kind of get, the signal just went. I get why we need organic certification. So I used to give them money. Now it was actually a really good question, because I could be selling machines to you and I don't even use them. I'm just like, yeah, I can make some money with this. And I could just be blindly selling this technology because for whatever reason, but it was actually a lot of tears that led me to this technology as a father, because I've been organic for over 20 odd, well, since the 90s. I used to sell organic food. Then I had an amazing vet, and he dialed me into homeopathy and acupuncture, and been around some amazing human beings. So it just, you know, learning about the heart back in the 90s. So this has just been a natural, logical progression for me, living a holistic life. I'm even a holistic lifestyle coach, but to me, I was already a holistic dad. I've just got a piece of paper to prove that I'm holistic, but I didn't really need the piece of paper to prove that I was holistic, because it's by your actions. Whoop! It's by the actions. I'm trying to find somewhere to put this phone. Here we go. Let me see if it'll go there. No, it won't get there. Let me see if it'll go in the farmers. Put it in there. Will it go in there? There we go. There we go. Yay! Cheers. So, I used to go to this. What is going on? I reckon these phones are powered by us. What do you think? Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to hold the phone. I didn't really want to hold the phone. I don't like holding the phone. But okay, so I see them as weapons. So back in the 90s, I used to go to this organic store to buy watercress near Pertwood Organics. I used to work for Pertwood Organics. And one day, the storeholder had come home to their place, and they were loaded with like supermarket food that was less than organic. And I was like, I'm not giving them my money anymore. So these people were selling organic, but they didn't eat organic. So I'm not that human. If I was to be a lobster fisherman, I'd be eating the lobster. If I was to be an A2 dairy producer, I'd be making ice cream. I'm one of those human beings that walks my talk. If I share with you that I'm selling antique Tesla technology, there's going to be a story with it. It might be a little bit long, but there's a story. And if you want me to share the story, I'll share the story. So basically, during the boogeyman Corona, they geoengineered us loads. And like, it's really, really bad what happened. And I ended up having my Facebook accounts removed. Loads of things happened because I acknowledged some things, and I'd always been very careful not to be one of those idiots that was like, I'm in Facebook jail. Okay, it looks like I'm going to have to walk. Looks like I'm going to have to walk. I'm going to walk. Okay, so I had my Facebook account removed. And I was like, 1 minute, I'm a dad, 4 children. I've got all the food right. Always making changes, you know, done Dr. Jubb's live food cleansing. Done like amazing like liver detoxes. Dr. Gabriel Cousins live food, living food cleanse. Lived at Dr. Gabriel, Dr. what's his name? Dr. Roberts Ranch in California. Been on the journey of self-healing. Sorry about the signal. Been on the journey of self-healing since the 90s. And then really starting to like embrace like self-healing, becoming the protagonist. And I was like, well, I've got the food right. I've got the natural medicines down to as pure as I can get. Started learning about the psyops of like fulvic minerals, zeolites, now shilajit. There's so much stupidity with the shilajit. You can always see when someone doesn't even know what they're selling. And so many. And then I was like, well, if I've got all these things right, and now there's this thing called targeting, and then there's the works of Alana Freeland, and angels not playing the harp, and targeted individuals, and viruses not existing. I was like, maybe I need to look at the technology. I was learning about anti-nano buckets, anti-nano triangles, and had this burning desire question. Who is Nikolai Tesla? I'd always known about Nikolai Tesla. but I hadn't really dived deep into his work. I've known about Wilhelm Reich since the 90s. Friends building their own orgone chambers, blankets, cloudbusters, all that kind of stuff. And those funny little resin things that people made. Because I always like to think, if Tesla was around today, if Wilhelm was around today, if Victor Schauberger was around today, what would they be building if H.G. Fisher was around today? So I kind of like to roll with that. And when I was learning how to make the anti-nano buckets and triangles, it was Tesla technology. And then I started to learn that we didn't really know what magnetism was. We don't really know what water is. We can look at the great works of Masaru Emoto, water having memory, cymatics. Then I started to learn about slim spurling and tensor rings through being really into the technology, radionics and related technologies. And then I was blessed to meet the lineage, the people surrounding the Integratron, the true Rife technology, the true unbalanced MWO, while I was learning about the antique Tesla technology and applying the Tesla technology. So I'm actually a collector, a self-practitioner, so I use the technology. So if I'm studying MWO, I'm invested in the MWO. If I'm studying Rife, I'm invested in the true Rife technology. So I put my money where my mouth is. When the mother of my children is using the technology, my little boy who's 10 will come up, see his mum, and have his mum will work on his spine. All my friends use the technology. So I'm really all in with the technology to the point where I've had to make videos about TZ. I never wanted to make videos about why the TZLA was okay, why there's better, why I've not been compelled to use the TZLA. I've not wanted to make machines saying, videos saying why terahertz is no good, PEMF is no good, Holder Clark's no good today. I want to say that they're great, but because we've got to look at the Internet of Everything, the Internet of Things, the wide body area network, take it with a pinch of salt, Sabrina Wallace work, take it with a pinch of salt, Tony Pantalleresco work, and just go, well, okay, if they're doing all these things, because it's an if, then what can I do to remain human and have the best avant-garde over the enemy lines strategies that actually work? So I'm blessed to know Tony Pantalleresco, some of his engineers. I've made lots of triangles, lots of buckets, used them. And I've got my own little protocol where I'm using the anti-nano triangle when I'm building them. I've kind of taken a break from building them at the moment. So, because it's a lot of work, I'm just focusing on the antique technology, to be fair, which is the spike that Tony talks about. It's a dual spike because you've got dual induction coils. So I really am, like, if I share something, like if I'm talking to you about salts, I'm using those salts. If I'm talking to you about essential oils, I'm using those essential oils. I'm not blind. I'm not the blind leading the blind. I'm actually leading myself. I'm not a manager. This is what I'm doing. So then when somebody invests in a Tesla machine, what I do then is I open up that 22 plus years experience as a father and meet the individual. I've got an element of intuition where I'm able to work with an individual. Like yesterday, somebody came to me with COPD and I didn't know what it was. But then as soon as I started to learn that it was connected to the lung, connected to breathing, and then knowing what I know from my experience through the ozone generator, the fact that ozone's created from the Tesla machines, and then learning about the individual essential oils that we used with the Tesla technology, I'm able to meet the human where the human's to and suggest different ideas that come to me from my experience and working with other people with experience. Some people have got years of experience on me. Others have got, and And I'm around different people with different skill sets that are able to share their ideas with me. And then when I meet a practitioner, I can lead that practitioner to another practitioner who's in the same modality. Like today, for example, there was an energy worker who was a chiropractor. So I can connect him to my chiropractor friend, and then I can link him to my energy friend. They can become friends. And essentially it's building a strong network, global network, with like minds and hearts that are dialed into their crafts. And I love that. It's like, I think that's part of the reason why I've almost a few times, because of the gatekeepers in this space, I've almost a few times just gone, no, I'm not doing this. But you can't put a price on the network and the connection and the stories that I get to hear. Freudian slip. It wasn't grift. Did you notice that, Erica Kirk? Oh, there's a jaybird. There's 2 jaybirds planting the oaks. So it wasn't grift. It was heal. Oh, I'm so grateful. Oh, it's so bitter cold. In and out of the sun. Out of the sun. I've just got to get to the sun. So anyway, that was a Q&A from last night. I thought it was a great question. Really wanted to answer it. And I've got, I think the little set is sold. And it was a really interesting conversation had today. It was beautiful. It really was. It was like speaking to a fellow version of myself with different qualities, and it was wonderful actually. Links to thought field therapy, curse clearing of Lee Bamer, the Global International Network, which is all about personal growth and development, just being the greatest version of yourself. I'm gonna have to go up here to get to the sun. I'm finding the sun. The sun's just over that hill. Let's get to that sun. Get up to my friend Parsnip's house. Little Robin. Hello, little Robin. How you doing, Redbreast? If you want some food, some fat, come down to ours. You probably won't. They're very territorial. So we're almost there. If I walk up that hill, which is great for sledging then, if we get more snow. Here we go. We're getting into the sun. The sun. The sun. The Son and the Father. Oh no. The Son and the Father. Father. The Abba Father. Little robins. They're looking quite chubby. That's good to see. Here we go. So there we go. So today's live was about me. Does Zish use the technology? Does his loved ones, friends and family use the technology? And the answer is 1000% yes, we do. All right, so came to the Son and the Father and the Holy Ghost, the great Son. Thank you, Son. They're not geoengineering today. It's too cold for you guys. See, nature wins, God wins. So I just wanted to come up here, make that connect. This will go up onto YouTube if you've got some value. Thank you for sharing. Thank you, new subscribers. I appreciate all of you. Sean, Santos, all new people. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you here. Let's make it a great 2026. If you can like this, it helps push this into the algorithm. I'm not expecting anything great from YouTube, but while we're here, fighting a great fight, let's spread the word and the knowledge. All right, folks, have a great 2026. If you celebrate all that stuff, I genuinely think the new year happens March. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to wait till I get back home. Have another coffee. Oh, the bones. Bye, son. See you tomorrow. Well, the funny thing is, I'll go down there and the sun will be there. It's wild. Like, we really don't know much, do we? We really don't know much. So I had to walk up here. So I was asked the question today, or last night, do you use this technology, Zish? And they're actually getting really amazing responses, because they're like, you know, the key is like unlearning, relearning, and learning again. You bring something in new. There was a study done with these nuns of Notre Dame. They lived into their like hundreds, and at the time they were doing all this epigenetic stuff with that little guy. I can't remember his name now, Bruce Lipton, and they were doing all this like brain study. And they had these nuns, and they measured the brains of these nuns, like the age and their age of their brains. They were all very outdoor pursuity. Beekeepers, riding on horseback, learning new languages like Russian, speaking Russian at the dinner table. And when they measured their brains, the age of them, they were all aged 38. And they were like, what is it? Like, why were these centenarians aged 38? And it's because they were doing cryptic crosswords. Now, did you know that most AI can't even do a cryptic crossword? So that's worth knowing. And AI is made by compartmentalized humans that focus on ones and zeros. So the swarm will swallow its own tail. My friend was actually part of building that shit back in the 70s, 80s. So he was part of that whole movement. He's a Taoist. He was like, Zish, you've got nothing to worry about with that stuff. Because you get all these like black pill type people. Ooh, the quantum AI. Ooh, the digital twin. And I'm like, well, whatever, you know. And so, oh, God, it's good. It makes you feel alive, this weather. So, knowing that you're learning something new, the Tesla technology can be a great segue into learning something new. And it doesn't stop there, because then you can bring in the essential oils. If you're not yet working with the essential oils, you can go and look at Des Rosier essential oils, or, you know, if you've already got some doTERRA essential oils, or Young Living essential oils, or David Crow's essential oils, you're already privy to the knowledge. But with the technology, they were using eucalyptus and pine oil. And so if you're in Canada, you know the importance of turpentine. But all good things. There's an amazing herbalist called Frank Cook. I think it was Frank Cook. And he was an amazing herbalist. And he talks about the Pinaceae family, the pine family. And it's just such an amazing plant, the pine. The bees, the honey, the pine pollen. They're just amazing plants, amazing medicines to be bringing in. Natural medicines from my experience. Like, so if I talk to you about pine pollen, I'm taking pine pollen. If I'm talking to you about pine, I'm using pine pollen, bee pollen, those sorts of things, because they're bioavailable and the body can recognize it, because they're all part of God's creation, and the body can go, oh yeah, this is part of God's creation. I'm on the move towards the Genesis, returning to the Garden of Eden. So I want to have access to those beautiful things from the Garden of Eden. So you get access to all those things that God's created. I'm not religious, you know, but I believe in God. I believe in the Creator. I don't believe in government. I believe in God. I believe in the sun. I believe in the Spirit. I believe in the trees and the nature and the mycorrhiza and God's creation. And that's why I love the technology, because the technology is a representation of God's creation as well, isn't it? Isn't it? It's got copper in there. It's got rare earth minerals. You know, you can imagine that those human beings that were making that technology were in a state of prayer, in a state of focus, in a state of strength of imagination, and strong will, and wealth of imagination. Like today, the problem with man is weak will and poor imagination. So you can say, okay, well, if the problem with man today is weak will and poor imagination, how can I develop and strengthen that will and strengthen that imagination. So I have a wealth of imagination and a strength of will. Isn't that a beautiful thing? To have a strength of will and a wealth of imagination. So that's why I love like the beautiful things of like real food, natural medicines, the great in technology, the great ideas. And then you associate with other folks that are all into like the strength of will and the wealth of imagination. And, you know, loving their cows and making the most amazing A2 dairy and beautiful cream. And then you can make ice cream for your family in the evenings, and you can support those that produce the most amazing heritage heirloom seeds. You can really focus on that, growing your own garden, building soil fertility, learning about agroforestry, permaculture, and starting to empower yourself, starting to educate yourself and empower yourself, because you know that it enables you to have a youthful brain, like those nuns of Notre Dame. You know, there's nothing to fear. Like, fear is just false evidence appearing real. And you can be like King of the Monkeys, Ian Brown, and just go, no, fantastic expectations, amazing revelations. You know, just flip it, be an iconoclast. I think that's what it is, an iconoclast. You know, when you hear like Klaus in the World Economic Forum talking about resilience, you can say, well, yeah, I'm resilient. You know, you live by it. You live by the words that they're throwing at you, and pretending to be for your community, but you are the true community, because community starts with you, because you're made of lots of little cells. You know, I'm not talking about the guy that sort of cut open an onion and said, oh, look, the onion's made of cells. We must all be made of cells. No, the idea that you're made of like loads of spores and fungus and bacteria and yeasts and molds, and you're that, and you're made of all those great things. And so therefore you are the first community. Forget moving into some community. You are the community. You get you right. You're the first community. Let's go. And then you're living by that design, and others are like, oh, look, he's living by that design. I'm living by my design. We're individuals. We celebrate. We're into the wealth of imagination, the strength of will. And it's a win-win chicken dinner. Or a win-win avocado salad. Or a win-win mesquite meal, delicious ice cream. You know, whatever you want, whatever you want, whatever you need, whatever you want. I'm thinking about a techno tune. Whatever you need, whatever you want. All right, folks, thanks for watching. This was Brother Zeesh chiming in. Your brother, friend, iconoclast, living his life.